and welcome to my channel. Well, I apologize for that last video where there was a mid-roll advertisement in there. I didn't know that the dinosaurs had done that. They snuck in there. I've had all these the entire time that I've had this channel here, and since there's been advertisements running and I had any control over it, I haven't had mid-roll ads. But they stuck one in there. Anyways, this is like a part 2. Again, this is not, 100% extensive, but what this one's going to try to cover is natural handle materials again, but this time wood, and I'm going to sneak in leather in there also, and I'm also going to talk a little bit more about some horn, because I've had some more examples, of that I wanted to put in there and show you how they can all be different. But wood, once again, this is not extensive, there are advantages and disadvantages to every handle material that you have, If you get something that's really tough, like bone, and you say, wow, this is the best way to go. And then you drop one on concrete or something like that, and you get a crack by the pin. Well, if you would have had a different material, that wouldn't have happened. So, yeah, you can all say don't drop it, but, it's going to happen. It's always possible. And you live, the way I look at it is you live with that possibility. It's like, well, if you're really worried about it, then don't carry it. Some of them are prone to it just through assembly. Some of them really are prone to cracking just by them putting it together, and they've got to be really good at it. And other ones, But here's some more. This is another possibility also. A lot of times, if you try to get something from a well-known local brand or whatever, and you try to get somewhat exotic materials, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. That's not the case with these Joker knives and stuff, because you can get various wood handles and bone handles and stuff like that, and then they don't have to even be Joker. This is, I think this may be a Frost brand. I'm not sure. What is it? Tan-Made. These are these two dogs fighting each other, I believe. But this is a 3-bladed one. Pretty cool, but you can see right here that I know that wasn't completely like that when I had it, so I may have caused that, it dropping. But anyways, that's one of them. Now again, it's not extensive on all these different woods, and I may get some of them mistaken, but olive wood is another one. Now wood is being soft, you can mold it to a lot of different shapes and sculpt it to a lot of different shapes, but it's somewhat susceptible to moisture and stuff like that. They usually have some kind of sealant on it, like boiled linseed oil or even just natural oil, just to help repel it, because you don't want wood to dry out, and you also don't want it to water rot, like fence posts. When they were planting them on the farm, they had creosote ones, and that was to keep bugs from eating it, but also to keep moisture from getting into it. It's a black, smelly tar type of stuff, and yeah, they held up for quite a while out in the weather, wet environment. So olive wood is one example. I believe this is olive wood also. The Joker Koala. And also, Joker has this, I think this is curly birch or something like that. Let me put this guy over here before he tries to kill me and get a little closer up. But yeah, it just looks really, this is their Nessmuk. It's pretty thick for a Nessmuk, but if you like batoning and stuff like that, it still has an Esmuk shape. This is like a super duper one, you know. I think that the original knife was probably maybe this shape, but much thinner. And that's not popular with the people who like to beat on their knives and stuff, but this one you can beat on. All right, and so you can get, I'm not sure what this one is, but again, you know, it's whatever grain you happen to like on the wood. And then some things can look like wood or look like something else. This is bog oak, and I don't know if that will come off, if that's just staining or what. But what bog oak is already a pretty tough wood, and bog oak is just oak that's just sat in a bog underneath it and kind of petrified, so it makes it really tough, and already, you know, impervious to a lot of stuff. So that's another, you know, example. And then one that I like a lot is ironwood or desert ironwood. This is just an old timer in that, but it's smooth, you know, because of the sand blowing on it and everything, like sandblasting in the wind, and it can come up with some pretty patterns and, you know, unique colors. So you don't necessarily have to pay a lot, you know, for something different, you know, different kind of woods and stuff. And then also stacked leather. Sometimes stacked leather to some people may look like wood or whatever else. Here's an example by Case. You know, it's stacked, but they polished it smoothly, whereas here they left the, you know, finger grooves and stuff like this. And then you got synthetic spacers and metal and stuff like that. But with leather, you know, because it's animal hide, like the sheath and stuff like that, it's got to be sealed or protected from moisture in some way. I mentioned this before, but I had one of these in the back of my Jeep, and unbeknownst to me, I had a leak. I still do, I guess, in that back big windshield that's back there, and water was just coming down and falling on one of these. I don't think it was a Camillus, but it was just falling down on it and everything. And so by the time I found it, I wish I would have saved on it. I'm pretty sure I did, but I don't know what happened. Anyways, it disappeared. All of this handle pretty much had rotted off. Most of the sheath was gone and rotted. I mean, you pull it and it would fall apart. It was in pretty bad shape, and this was corroded a little bit because it wasn't protected from oil. Like I said, I wish I would have saved that, you know, because you can restore these. If that happens, you just take, it's usually like peened or something like that, but you just get that off, grind it off or whatever, and then make your own, restack your leather and put it back in there, and you're ready to go. I mean, it's still good. And any corrosion you got on there, you just take it off with whatever method you want to take corrosion off with, and resharpen it, and boom. So yeah, like I said, I don't normally throw away knives even if they're damaged and stuff, because if you can't fix them at that time, sometime in the future you may be able to fix it. All right, here's another example of a horn handle. This is Marbles. I think this one is made in Pakistan, but I'm not sure. Usually they brag about it, Pakistan or China. Anyways, they made this. They dug in this with a drill bit or something like that, or a router or something like that. But this is still real horn. And when they say like buffalo horn and some, they're not talking about, like America, we always think like the buffalo with the Indians. Those are actually bison. They're not really buffalo. And a lot of times buffalo are water buffalo. They look like cows and stuff, but they've got horn and stuff. So I think that's what they're using. But anyways, like I said, this is not extensive. You know, Opinel uses some kind of wood on theirs, but they've got a shellac or a varnish, you know, on it to protect it. He's pointing. Look, there's a crown on my finger. This one's made in the Francois. But yeah, it's all up to you. And a lot of times, if you're making a knife, a lot of times handle material comes into play, because it's whatever resource you got available to you, and also what would look good. You know, I mean, wood can be. This is so smooth, man. There's no transition there. It's just so smooth, and each one's going to be individual. Again, you know, you say I want one exactly like that. Well, you're not going to get one. This dark spot might be down here. Sorry. You know, just the way it is. And like I said, to me, that's an advantage, because it's not cookie cutter stamped out. And you could just have plain knives like this that are just, you know, just a plain kind of wood, maybe a beech or something like that. But, you know, it works. So it's all in what you like. I mean, you can see there's going to be more grain in this, but maybe you don't like grain. Maybe you like something that looks like this. You know, that's a good thing about knife handles and knife handle materials, is that if money's no object, then you can pretty much pick whatever fancies your eye. But usually money falls into it, but money doesn't necessarily have to be. You can find budget examples of it. I think that's why. That's kind of one of the reasons why people will pick certain patterns. You know, like I would pick Moonglow, because I want all the handles to glow. You know, and then you can pick olive wood just because you like the way olive wood looks. You know, and it's an individual thing. It's all in what you look like, the way it feels, the way it looks. I like things that tend to be natural, but there are advantages to modern materials also. So anyway, there you go. That's just another little short overview. Hopefully there was no mid-roll dinosaur ads. They can run them in the end and everything, but they, you know, I'm getting on to them about that, because they broke a perfect running streak of no mid-roll ads, and bam. But who can control dinosaurs? I know I can. Anyways, thank you for watching, and have a nice day. I forgot to mention, there are also like wood laminates and stuff, you know, that combine, kind of like Pack-A-Wood and stuff, that combine, you know, layers of wood with some type of resin and everything. So that's kind of combining natural and unnatural, if you want to look at it that way. The pointer. But yeah, like I said, it's all in what you want. I mean, this one kind of combines the best of both worlds, because it's a little bit more durable than regular wood and everything. It naturally is, you know, sealed by having kind of like some kind of epoxy with it. So like I said, once again, this is not completely extensive. It just give you some kind of an example of the different stuff, the options that are available to you. And if you've always bought, I'll get into the synthetic ones, the materials later on, and man-made and stuff like that, just to, I guess, round this out. I guess this is part 2, but yeah. So there you go. There, like I said, there's a bunch of different woods, and even, you know, ways of doing leather and stuff that are possible with this. And I can't go. I already ran my mouth too much as it is. Anyways, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.